William Shakespeare's play Macbeth follows the story of a man who was told he would have immense power. In his search for it, he became consumed by what he wanted and would achieve it by any means. Although stories told today similarly exhibit some of the elements of greed and a drive for power, few truly embody what the Shakespearean tragedy is. Oxford language defines tragedy as an event causing great suffering, destruction, and distress, such as a serious accident, crime, or natural catastrophe. Shakespeare's plays follow this thinking, as in each one it ends with the majority of characters, including the main character, dying. So why are these stories not told as much anymore? Well, first of all, no one likes a tragic ending. But secondly, they're hard to write. Shakespeare didn't kill off all his characters because he thought it would be an easy ending to his books. The whole story has led to that point. Everything has to make sense when it ends. Today, there are a few stories that are true tragedies. In this series, I'm going to highlight a few newer age ones and line them up parallel to Macbeth's story. We open with the Weird Sisters, a group of 3 witches that are to soon tell Macbeth of his great fortune. They are powerful and fantastical. In my mind, I see them as narrators, or those who control what is to come. Before we go further into the story, I'm going to introduce the rest of the protagonists we'll be looking at. First up is Loki from The Loki Show, a man with a glorious purpose to fulfill. Arthur Morgan of Red Dead Redemption 2, 2018. Arguably the least like Macbeth, however, they share a tragic flaw. And finally, V, the main protagonist of Cyberpunk 2077, 2020, most similar to Macbeth. Each of these stories can be directly connected to Shakespeare's Macbeth in one way or another, and all can be considered tragedies. Starting at the beginning, Macbeth has his witches, Loki has his purpose, Arthur has his past, V has their name. A fun thing Shakespeare liked to do during his plays was explain the story during the prologue. By explaining how it ends, it exposes the brilliance of how it happens. We know Macbeth is going to die because you are told so. We can infer Loki will have to sacrifice himself because we never quite see or get explained his purpose until the final episode. Red Dead 2 is a prequel. Red Dead 1 does not have an Arthur Morgan. At the start of your story, V is told the only way to become a legend in Night City is to die one. But enough foreshadowing for now. Let's take a deeper look into their stories, starting with Act 1. Macbeth learns that the previous Thane of Cawdor was executed for treason, and the title was to be given to him, further proving the witches were telling the truth. He plans to return home to his wife, Lady Macbeth, who has an integral role to play in the play. She knows of Macbeth's prophecy to become king and wants the best for him, and for him to succeed. However, she is willing to achieve this title for him through nefarious means. They plan to invite Duncan, the current king, over to their home to celebrate and then murder him in his sleep, framing it on the guards. Despite the fact that Macbeth is reluctant of the plan, she insists. Lady Macbeth calls him weak and not manly for thinking they won't succeed. So how does this part of the play relate to our characters? First, let's take a look at Arthur Morgan. His gang of outlaws are the only family he's ever known. However, they are still bad people and have done things to innocent people in the past. At the beginning of the game, Arthur starts to look back on his past and see how his decisions are affecting the victims of their business. He starts to have doubts about the decisions being made by the gang leader, but gets ignored and called weak. The gang's leader, Dutch Vanderlyn, is the Lady Macbeth of the story. He is what instigates all of the decisions early on and leads to the eventual point of no return for the main character.